What's up guys, it's Sierra and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for this video because we are going to be talking all things Airbnb. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty. We're going to talk about the entire process and how, everything works because it is a growing and flowing business these days. Like, I'm going to give you guys the tea. A lot of people don't talk about, all the ins and outs. So I feel like it was very important to make this video, especially being an Airbnb host myself, and talk about my experience. So let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is how to start an Airbnb. Basically, it's the most simplest process. Anybody could be an Airbnb host. You can rent out a space in your garage, you can rent out a basement, you can rent out, anything. So what I do is I rent out a room in my home. You basically go to the Airbnb website and you sign up on their website to become a host. You're gonna list your address, the place, the title, everything, and it takes literally 2 seconds to start an Airbnb and list your home. Then once you list your home, you want to kind of have like a general name for your space, kind of make it a little bit different than what's in your area so it pops out a little bit more and people are like, ooh, let me look at this one. So just think about, I don't know if you've ever stayed in an Airbnb, but just think about the things you look for whenever you're trying to search for an Airbnb for your vacation or stay. So the next thing you're gonna do is take some bomb pictures. You want them to be like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna stay there. So you wanna either have even maybe a professional come take your photos, or you can even use your iPhone. The quality on the iPhones these days is probably better than a camera. So you can use your iPhone, take pictures of your listed space and go from there. You wanna show all the ins and outs. You wanna show the room, the environment of the room. If there's a TV, you want to have that in the pictures. I've learned from previous stays that I've had from people, they saw that there wasn't a TV in the picture and they were like, we almost didn't stay because there wasn't a TV in the picture. So the next thing is going to be your description. So basically you want to describe everything about your home, your space, everything. I even have in there like places in the area that you can go, like for tourists and stuff. Like, Atlanta is huge. So you want to have things in there that are kind of going to attract them to your space. You also want to have how far these places are from your space. And it really draws a lot of attention because a lot of people want something closer to downtown. A lot of people want something closer to the airport. Some people want things that are near a bus stop. Get as detailed as you can in this description. You can add on from time to time, you have conversations with the people that are renting out your space. Have those conversations, ask them what they liked about it, what could they possibly come up with that you could do better. It really goes a long way from experience. Like, there's things that I've learned from them instead of being a host. So it really helps with that. The second point I want to point out is having a pamphlet. So you can see on the side screen here that I have a welcome letter. So every person that books the Airbnb, they're going to get this welcome letter, and I send it directly to their email through DocuSign, and I'll get to that in a second. But it describes all the rules, like the laundry, the trash, non-smoking, where to park, just every single little thing that you can have a question about, even the Wi-Fi, where it's located, everything. The kitchen rules, cleaning up after themselves. It has everything in there. And what I also suggest, which is the DocuSign point, I have them read over the pamphlet, and there's an injuries part at the bottom where basically it's saying like, we're not responsible for any injuries, kind of having you covered through there as well, because Airbnb does have like a coverage policy, but it also is going to give you that backbone as well, because they're going to sign it with their name, the date, their date of birth, and they have to sign it as well. So it really isn't just an extra coverage. I've just from experience, it's just better to have that because there's instances that, I've had to explain to Airbnb where it wasn't even my fault. but having that paper as a documentation will save you in any situation. So definitely do that. The pamphlet really is optional. You don't have to do that, but if you send it to the person directly and they sign it, that's just a good thing for you to have in place of any kind of situation you don't want to deal with. All right, so the third thing is maintaining. Airbnb is not easy, and people make it seem like it's like this breeze in the wind. It is not easy at all. Like literally running an Airbnb, having to do check-ins and check-outs, you know, so you can have a certain amount of time that a person can check in and check out. You can stay for a night in my Airbnb and it's fine, but some people will have like a minimum 2-day stay or 3-day stay. That is kind of helpful with the cleaning process, because if you have somebody checking out and checking in that day, it's a lot of work. These days you gotta disinfect, you know, with Miss Rona around, and you gotta disinfect, you gotta wash all the sheets, dry the sheets, put them back on, clean and scrub the bathroom. Sometimes even wash the rugs in the bathroom because you want it to be fresh. So it's very time consuming, and a lot of people don't mention that. It is a great cash flow money business to even get into. It causes a lot of financial freedom, especially for my house. Like, haven't paid the mortgage, or, you know, it's just helped a lot in that sense. So I feel like it's a great thing to invest into. But talking about the cleaning and stuff, you know, you could have a cleaning crew. It was just easier and saving money that I do it myself. But it has to be done right. Like, you can't just clean regularly or spot clean and expect somebody to give you a good review. Like, your reviews matter so much. I think I've had 2 bad reviews, and both of them were not even my fault. I had a guest stay and she cooked a Thanksgiving dinner and left the kitchen gross. She left food in the oven, you know, just disgusting. I was so mad. So it's not easy sometimes, you know, because it's a shared space. Even if you don't rent out a room in your home, you rent out your entire house, that's still a lot more to clean because you got to clean everything. So some people do have a cleaning person like set in place with a contract that they would be the ones to respond to you whenever you have a check-in, check-out, and they go clean it. So it's just really, you know, it's time consuming. The reviews, the bookings, you know, the canceling process. You want to have canceling process. They can book and then cancel in a certain amount of time. But I'm very strict on my canceling process because I only allow people to stay. Well, I allow you to be able to stay for one night. So if somebody cancels at the last minute, you are responsible for what? So my process, they have 72 hours, I think, or 48 hours. They can cancel and get a free refund. But if they cancel at the last minute, like within a day, they're gonna have to pay. There's also, I think you could do 72 hours and they get half their money back, because you don't have time. We don't have time for that. We don't have time for you to be messing with my money as well as yours. So if you book and confirm with me that you're coming and you cancel last minute, that's on you. So yeah, that's like the worst that I can get. And it's very important that we talk about these things, because there's a lot that goes into it that people don't really know until they start. And I didn't know it was going to be that hard when I started. Other than that, it is a good, like I said, a cash flow, a good business to get into. You know, people go and start their own Airbnbs, buy a house and rent it out through Airbnb. So it's really a great, consistent money. One point that I want to bring up is try to do something different. You know, there's somebody, I think a few miles out of the city of Georgia, and they have like a tree house. Or there's some people that do rooms like with a movie theater, like something different that stands out and makes people want to book your Airbnb more, you know? So I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love talking about these things. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the video, let me know. It's not as hard as it looks, but it can get overwhelming. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I can't wait to see your comments. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe. You're already here. Love you guys.